Boys and girls, no, it's not Christmas, but Alex is here. You probably all know, or if you don't, I'm telling you, I'm a great fan of these Festool MFT style bench tops. I have them scattered all over the place in my workshop, and I'm continually adding jigs or bases. They're set out so they can be attached to these rather than using clamps and things like that. Now, it's well and good when you use your traditional dogs like that, which is not a problem because they sit flush, but technology is getting the better of us, and they're coming up with these fandangled little stops which have got these collars on them, and at the end of the day they're good. I mean, the whole idea of the collar is, see, if you put that down, you've got it there, but it's not flush against the hole itself. Why you want that, that's another story, but it's not flush. With these ones, they've got a little collar around them that'll stop them going down the hole. But if you put them in the hole, that collar sits proud of the hole. Let's see, what are you seeing? Yeah, you can see that, good stuff. Sits proud of the hole by about close to a mil. So when you try and butt something up against it, you can see there, that's hitting the collar when it should be going that extra 1 mil further in. They've got others, like these are now my favourites. These are those TSO lock dogs. Their main purpose, their primary purpose, is to lock two pieces together. Let's see, like so. And I use, this is a spare, totally redundant drill now, on its lowest torque setting. Starts to ratchet and it's now locked. If I do it a little bit tighter, yeah, it's tight. The reason why it hasn't locked super tight is because I didn't go all the way down, because this hasn't got that chamfer on it. So, and then not only that, there's also these other anchors. The whole idea of all this is that you can make up your own jigs and hold downs. This particular one, again, is the same. It sits in there, but you have to then secure it with this knob underneath. Not a drama, you know, I mean, it's a hassle, but if you can't get to it, it's no good. That's why these are so good, because you put it in, tighten the knob. It's got these rubber washers in there. These things compress, expand the rubber, and jams inside the hole. Like, look at that, you know, that's not going to move. The problem is you've got to allow for this collar. Now, one of the things that you can use is a countersink bit. Now, I've already rigged this up, so I'm not going to take it out. By using the countersink bit in the drill, you're not necessarily going to get it perpendicular. And if you put it in lopsided, look, it'll seat down because of the depth of it, but it's not ideal. You know, hey, we all strive for perfection. And not many have reached it like I have. Just kidding. Now, this is actually a Beal countersink bit, and that's a woodpecker unit. And yeah, in all fairness, woodpecker stuff is not cheap. These you can pick up for a few bucks at Bunnings or any home hardware store, and they look good, they look similar. Unfortunately they're cheap as shit, so at the moment it's sitting in the pile that the next visitor to the workshop that wants a freebie is more than happy to have it, because I'll never use it again. But you know, again, at the end of the day, it's better than not having one. But that will permit you to at least drill a 90-degree hole. So let's give it a try. Put it over there. I've actually used an existing hole on the bench to adjust the depth. I've put this outrigger on there only because the diameter of the countersink is bigger than the diameter of that hole, and I'd rather not countersink the aluminium. So put it on there, attach your, not that drill, here we go, my little favourite, and that's it. You've now countersunk it. Oh, come on. Countersunk it, and you will find, everything being equal, that now is, oh, where is that? Here we go. That little cutesy flush. If I use the other one, remember how we had that little whoopsie? Straight up to it, not a problem. So that's good. And if you happen to have this type of setup, brilliant. I'm forever after new things. Now, UJK Parf, oh sorry, all these holes, I make my own MFT style benches using the UJK, I've got to get it right, UJK Parf system. Google it, it's brilliant. It's costly. A lot of people complain, oh bloody $300 for, you know, one-off type. No, loan it to your friends. Make a thing for your friends and charge them for it. Split the cost between friends. You know, I have made, although look, I'm not screaming for money. I'm not rich, but I certainly don't necessarily cry poor. So I don't charge friends for making it. However, I've made over a dozen, well, forgetting about what I've made here, which I've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these type of uses already. I've made over a dozen for friends. Now, when you consider a dozen, 16 into 300, that's what, $20 a go. That's not expensive. And time. Anyway, UKJ brought out this reamer. It's a nice little hand reamer. Slap it in the hole, twist it around, and you've got your, oops, bad hole. No, it's a, there you are. You've got your hole, actually. Hang on. Might need a few more. No, it's bad spot because that thing. Oh, yeah. All right. Here we go. Now it's got this knurling. As you can see, I'm actually doing quite a bit of this and there is going to be a bit of tear out because of I'm going across against the grain or whatever, but there you are. That's now flush, which is great. However, having said that, as you could see, compared to the previous hole with the countersink bit, it took me quite a bit of effort. Now, bearing in mind that I've got a dodgy thumb, I can only do about half a dozen of these before it gets bad. My left arm is buggered, so I really can't use it. Oh, I can use it, but oh no, and I've got to twist it the wrong way, so that's no good. However, old UKJ, determined to suck your money some other way, they've come up with this other, where is it? Here we go. This other unit, which is much the same as that, but it's drill mounted. It's got a nice long shaft. It's tapered so it eases into the hole, and it's sort of like a self-guided 90 degrees. Look, at the end of the day, I probably would, to be 100%, set it up in that combination to do the drilling, so you guaranteed a perpendicular thing. However, this will guide itself perpendicular. It's got the chamfer bit on there, much like that one has. However, it's also got a reamer on the edges, because over time wood will swell, or could swell, to the point where it's going to get all ragged and hairy. This chamfering bit will clean that up. Now, with these dogs, if the hole shrinks, is it shrinking, or which is the best way, expands. When I say expands, the hole expands means the hole gets bigger. Doesn't sound right, expanding, yeah. But anyway, if the hole gets bigger, because this is sort of like jams around all over, it'll self-center and jam up. However, if it gets furry, you might find that this just doesn't want to go down. So, this would be ideal to, if it doesn't go, turn it on, go down, but then the last bit will do that chamfering for you. The only thing I don't like about it is that as it's spinning around, it puts this little ring around the hole. Hey, it's a workbench. It's going to get dirty. It's going to get dented. But you've just made it. You don't want the first scratch happening with a setup tool. So you can go through and touch all the other ones. I can't do that because I can't go down deep enough because of the bench underneath. But as you can see, it's a hell of a lot quicker than the chamfering tool. It does help to steady it. There, you can virtually do a whole tabletop with this in a matter of minutes, while honestly, when I used this on this tabletop, it took me days only, because I could only do about half a dozen at a time before my thumb got so sore I couldn't do it. So there you are, the alternative. That's about 50 bucks, I think. That's about 75 bucks. Now, I did get it from UK, Axminster. Carbotech usually sell it, but unfortunately they do put a hefty price on it. And alright, it's imported, it's shipping, but then again, half the time they haven't got it, or it's on order, backlisted, etc. So forget that. Again, this is great. Now the Beal wood threader, oh look, I'll swear by that. Now if I need to, for argument's sake, like say I wanted to, with these, they've got a reach. The reach of these is, if you extend that, is from there to basically, well, there. Anything, you need at least that much depth for it to be workable. However, the maximum depth is such and such. Now, if for some reason you're missing out on about 2 or 3 mil, this is where I found that this to be quite good, because what you can do is, hang on, which is the best way? Yeah. If I put that on there, not that you can measure it or see it, but you see the depth, so it can actually go down that little bit up to that bit up to there. But if suddenly now you find the depth you want is about 3 or 4 mil further than that, what you can do, come on baby, is put this little unit on, undo the depth stop, which is quite, it's actually brilliant. This I've got to admit, I reckon this is brilliant engineering. Now where's me thing? Here we are. Slap this on. Oh, come on. Okay. No, I'll give it a bit more. Oh, come on. That'll do. At least, you know, this is a demo. Bear in mind, I wasn't set up to do this, but by the depth of that countersink, when you put it through here, oh, you've got that extra 3 mil reach underneath. And let's face it, at the top, it's still, you can pass over it unless you're concerned about that hollow. But for God's sake, you're not going to be sealing that, because that's going to be coming out. You might drop a few screws down there, or you might lose a chisel, or you mallet down that indentation. But other than that, at least you know where to look for it. So there you have it, boys and girls. Hopefully a couple of little products that might help make your MFT tabletop style a little bit more comfortable. Okay, Uru, catch you later. If you happen to be watching this video, sorry, I forgot to mention this, there are these other little doovies available. I think again another UKJ product. The whole idea of the UKJ system is when you lay out your dogs, you don't necessarily, depending on how you lay your table out, sometimes you find that you cannot get two dogs adjacent within the 96 mil distance. Only because you, what's the word for it? You do need a Veritas bench dog to hold the jig, to steady the jig, if you've already got a hole cut. But if you then want to extend it, and you need to use the UKJ Parf system, and you actually find that your jig is situated in such a way that there's no 3 mil pinholes for you to locate it, to secure it and line it up properly. That's where these little units come in handy. You drop it in, and now you can drop your 3 mil pin in there to secure the jig, rather than using, because if you haven't got the 25 mil hole, like say the jig is, look, I'll go and get the jig. That'll explain the situation so much better. Here we are. Here's the jig. Now, as you can see, what you can do is you can anchor the jig using, oh come on, it's a tight fit. Come on baby. It's a pain. No, I've got to admit, it's a pain. I hate this because it's such a tight tolerance. You're okay. Now you can see there, you've actually got another spot for another one of these dogs. However, if for some reason you wanted to put a hole, where the hell would you want to put the hole? Let's just say you didn't have the hole and you didn't have, well, you didn't have the hole, simple as that. I don't know how to explain it. What you can then do is use that pin locator in there to line that up with it. But anyway, having said that, that also has got that little collar on it whereby you need that thing chamfered. Alright, I think I've confused myself more than you, so I shall have to go and sleep on it. Uru. Keep safe. Damn, I should script my stuff because there's something I can't remember whether I mentioned or not. Another option naturally is using a router, come trimmer, come whatever you like to call it. What I've got in here is a 90 degree or 45 degree depending on which way you look at it V-bit with a bearing follower on it. I have set the depth accordingly, and again with this you can do, remember I said to you, you can go quite deep. You can do the same thing with this. You can virtually go as deep as you like and just make sure you don't chew through the base with the big router bit. But it's just a simple case of, now hang on, I don't think I can do, yeah I can do these end ones because that's the bottom is stopping me, but turn it on, it's on a nice low speed, drop it in, now that depth is probably a tad deeper than I would get on a chamfer tool, but then that's me setting it. However, that certainly does a very, very nice job of it. In fact, probably I'd say that does a better job than most of the others. However, that latest one that I showed you in the before this, the Reamer, is really worth buying that unit for its Reamer function, because most workshops suffer humidity, and the last thing you want is the hole to expand or retract, which, oh god, here we go again. But the hole to get smaller and you can't get your dog in. Otherwise, you file, you rebore, you're going to screw it up, guaranteed. Okay, this time that's it. I'm closing shop. Uru. Keep safe.